everyone, this is Anne-Marie from Alma Surfside. Thank you so much for joining me for another beading tutorial. I just wanted to start off by wishing those of you who are watching in the States a happy Independence Day. I'm filming on the 4th of July today, so I just wanted to acknowledge that. And for those of you who are watching from Canada, I just wanted to wish you a happy Canada Day, which happened just a few days ago on the 1st of July. So anyways, for those of you who don't know me, I have an Etsy shop where I sell handmade surf and beach-inspired jewelry. And that's the name of my shop, Alma Surfside. And I also have an Instagram account, which is Alma Surfside 7. So be sure to check out both of those links in the description box down below. And for today's beading project, we're going to be going over a necklace. And I decided to create this necklace because I found these Czech glass beads, and I normally don't work with Czech beads just in general because the hole size is a little bit small, but this color really stood out to me, and I decided to create an oval shape. So it's a repeated pattern, as most of mine are, and you can see that each oval attaches to the next, just using size 15s in between. So that's what we're going to be working on for today's beading tutorial. In terms of supplies for today is fire line, and this is 6 pound or 0.006. Okay, and the first pile there on my mat, you see again the Czech glass beads, and these are size 8s, and the color is opaque, light blue, matte. Okay, so that's what they look like. In the next pile there on my mat, you see 11 O's, and these are by Toho, and they're white opaque. Okay, and the third pile here on the far right hand side of my mat are size 15 seed beads, and these are in galvanized silver, again by Toho. Okay, so the only Czech beads that we're using today are the size 8s on the far left. And it's also useful to have a lobster claw to finish off your piece. And you're going to need 2 jump rings as well, okay, for the closure. And the reason why I've chosen silver for my findings today is because I'm using silver beads in the necklace itself. Okay. In addition to those items, it's also good to have scissors on hand so that you can cut your thread as you're working. And it's also useful to have flat nose pliers so that you can work with the jump rings at the very end of the project. Okay, so go ahead and gather all of your materials and let's get started. Okay, so to get yourself started, what you're going to want to do is attach your beading needle to your fire line. And I always start with an arm's length worth of fire line, okay, because that's what's most comfortable for me to work with. And you're going to want to leave yourself a decent tail of about 6 to 10 inches just so that you can finish off your project at the very end. Okay, and I'm going to start off by picking 2 of the size 8 seed beads up. Okay, so I have the 2 blue beads there on my needle, and I'm going to push those down, again leaving myself a generous tail, and I'm going to insert my needle into the very first blue bead there. Okay, so you want to have both beads sitting side by side like that. Okay, and now I'm going to pick up one of my white beads in 11O. Okay, I'm coming out of the bead there on the left, and I'm going to insert my needle on the right hand side. Okay, so in this bead, the second one here on the right. Okay, so now I have the white bead sitting there at the top and the 2 blue beads sitting side by side below. I'm going to go ahead and pick up one more size 11 bead in white, and I'm going to insert my needle into the bead sitting there on the left. Okay, so you want to have that shape at this point. Okay. And now I'm going to go through the bead sitting there in the center, the white bead, And I'm going to pick up 3 more of my size 11 beads in white. Right there. And now I'm going to go through the opposite side of the white bead sitting in there in the center. Okay, so you want to have a total of 4 white beads at the top of your shape. Okay, go down the blue bead there on the right. And we're going to do the exact same thing. So go through the white bead in the center. Okay, now I'm going to pick up 3 more white beads. Right there. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of the white bead sitting there in the middle. Okay, so at this point what I'm going to do is insert my needle into the blue bead below on the right hand side. Okay, I'm going to pick up another size 8 bead right here, and I'm going to go through the white bead sitting there on the far right. Okay, right there. And I'm going to pull on my needle. So by doing that, I've attached the blue bead to the second bead there on the right hand side. Okay. So basically we're going to go around the shape and fill in all of the empty gaps with the blue beads. Okay. Now I'm going to go through the white bead here, the top of the shape, go down the next one. Okay, so now I'm coming out here on the right hand side, and you can see there's an empty gap here, so I'm going to fill that one with a size 8 seed bead. Okay, another blue one. And I'm going to go down the blue bead there on the right. Okay, so now everything's sitting much better here at the top of my shape, and we're going to do the exact same thing here at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up another size 8 bead in blue, and I'm going to go down this bead here on the right hand side. Okay. Okay, see how that sits nicely? And now I'm going to work my needle around to the other side so I can fill in the gap. Pick up another size 8 seed bead right there, and I'm going to go down both of these blue beads right here. Okay. There we go. Okay, so our shape is basically complete, and all we have to do now is get our needle around to the first bead on the other side of our shape so that we can fill in the gaps with size 15 seed beads in silver. Okay. Okay. My thread is now coming out right here. Okay, and I'm going to pick up a total of 3 15-0s in silver. There we go, 3 silver beads there on my needle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the blue bead sitting there in the center, and I'm going to put my needle through the next one. Okay, so you have a total of 3 beads. You're going from the first bead to the third bead. And pull tight. Okay, so that should just create, you know, an arch there on the outside of your shape. And then I'm going to work my needle around to the other side and do the exact same thing. Okay, so I'm now coming out of the very first blue bead there on the other side of my shape. I'm going to pick up 3 more of my size 15s. Right there. And I'm going to jump from the first bead to the third bead, skipping the one in the middle. There we go. Okay, so that creates another little arch. So I'm going to go through the 2 white beads. Okay. And now that that shape is complete, I'm ready to start a new one. So to create a connector, I'm going to pick up 1 size 15, 1 size 11, and another size 15. Okay, so I have 3 beads there on my needle. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of the bead there at the top of my shape. Right there. Okay, you can go ahead and reinforce that connector by going through all of the beads that you just added on. And then you can step up through the silver bead on the right and the white bead sitting there in the center. Okay, so now I'm ready to create my second oval shape. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads in size 11. Right there. I'm going to go through the opposite side of the bead that I'm exiting. Okay, the bead there sitting in the center at the top, and pull on my thread. Now I'm going to go through 2 of the beads there. So this one here on this side, as well as the one in the center. Okay, so you want to be exiting this one here at the top. I'm going to pick up 2 size 8 seed beads. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of that bead sitting there in the center. Okay, so basically you want to have them flush side by side, sitting right above that bead and the white bead in the center. Okay. And now I'm going to go through the bead there on the right, the blue one, go down the bead on the left, and go back up the bead on the right. Okay, and what that does is it just pulls together those 2 beads like we did in the original step for the first one that we created. Okay, so it just brings them closer together in the center of our shape. And now I'm going to pick up a size 11 seed bead in white, and I'm going to go down the size 8 on the left. Okay, so that's the shape that you want to have. Go through the white bead below, the blue bead on the right, and back through the white bead at the top. Okay, now we need to attach another 3 white seed beads to the top of our shape. So to do that, I'm going to get my needle and pick up these 3 here. Go through the opposite side of the white seed bead there in the center, and pull on your thread. Okay, so we've replicated the exact same shape that we had below. And now that I'm coming out of this white bead, I'm going to go down the blue bead right there. Okay, so let me hold it this way so you can see better. So now my thread is coming out here on the right hand side at the top of the blue bead. And I'm going to pick up a blue bead here, size 8, and I'm going to enter the bead there on the right hand side of that diamond shape. So that filled in that gap, right? Go around the shape, so go through the white beads there, the little diamond. Now we have another empty gap, right? So I'm going to pick up a blue bead and I'm going to go through the next blue bead. Okay. I have an empty gap, so I'm going to pick up another blue bead and go through the white bead there on the right hand side of the diamond shape. Okay, see how that's filling in? And now I just need to go through the next two white beads. And I have an empty gap, so again we're going to pick up our size 8 blue bead. And I'm going to go down the next two beads. Okay, so that's the shape, okay, basically, and all we have to do now is create the little silver arches on each side of our second shape. So to do that, I'm going to work my needle around to the other side. And I'm going to make sure that I enter it into the very first blue bead there on the right hand side. Okay, so I'm now exiting this bead here, and I'm going to pick up another 3 seed beads in 15-0. Right there. Okay. And I'm going to skip the bead in the center, and I'm going to go up the third bead there on the far right hand side. Okay. Work my needle around the shape, and we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Pick up another 3 size 15 seed beads. Okay, skip the one in the center and go through the next one. There we go. Okay. And what you want to do is take your needle and go all the way around the outside until you're back up here at the very top of your shape, okay, the second shape. Okay, there we go. Pull tight. Okay, so you can see how the necklace is coming together. We're going to carry on doing the exact same thing. So let's go through that one last time. So I'm going to create a connector by picking up one of my size 15s, one of my size 11s, and another size 15. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I've created a new connector, and I'm going to reinforce that by going through all of the beads that I just added on. Okay, and then you can step up through the seed bead there on the right, the silver one, and then the white one as well. There we go. Okay, now that I've finished the connector, I'm ready to pick up 3 of my white beads in size 11. I'm going to go through the opposite side of the bead that I'm coming out of. Right there. Okay. I'm going to go up through the next two beads. Okay, so I'm now coming out of the left-hand side of the white bead sitting in the middle of the shape. I'm going to go ahead and pick up two of my blue beads. Okay, go through the opposite side of the bead that I'm exiting. Okay, so those are now sitting flush against that white bead. And I'm going to pull them together by going through the one on the left, down the one on the right, and back up through the one on the left. Here we go. Okay. And now I can pick up another white bead. Okay. Go down the blue bead on the right. And then I'm going to work my needle around to the white bead again. So go through the white bead below, the blue bead there on the left, and back through the white bead in the center. Okay, so we're going to continue this third shape by picking up a total of 3 white beads. Okay, 3 on my needle, and I'm going to go through the opposite side of the bead that I'm exiting. Okay, at the top of my shape there. Okay, so that's what you want to have at the top of your third shape. And now I'm going to work my needle around to the other side, so going through the white beads there. Okay, I'm going to pick up a blue bead. Okay, so this is how I'm holding the piece right now. So I'm going to go through the blue bead sitting there in the center of the shape to fill in the gap. Okay. There's another gap, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up another blue bead. And I'm going to go through this bead here sitting there on the right-hand side of the diamond. Pull tight. Okay, we're going to work our needle around to the other side of our shape. And go through the white bead below. Okay, there's a gap here. So again, pick up your blue bead, go through the one in the center. Okay, pick up another blue bead. Go through the white bead there on the right-hand side of the diamond and pull tight. Okay, so our third shape is almost complete, but we just need to fill in the silver arches on each side of our oval shape. So I'm going to go through the next white bead. Okay, the white and blue bead. Okay, and I'm ready to pick up 3 of my silver beads in size 15. Okay, again, we're going to skip the one in the center and go down the next one. Okay, I'm going to work my needle around to the other side and do the exact same thing. Okay, and now I'm ready to pick up 3 more silver beads, 15-0. Okay, I'm coming out of the very first bead there on the lower right hand side. Skip the one in the center and go through the third one here. Okay, so now the arches are complete on both sides of my third shape, and I'm going to climb up to the top of my shape here by going through the next 2 beads. And then I'll be ready to start another connector. Okay, so we've completed 3 segments of our necklace, and that's the pattern that you want to follow for the rest. Okay, so if you need to review any of those steps, just go back in the video and go over those again. This piece is very versatile, so it would also work very well as a bracelet or even earrings. You can see how well it hangs, if it's straight up and down. Okay, so if you wanted to create, a whole jewelry set, you could definitely do that. And yeah, so let's go over the closure at this point, and then we'll wrap up the tutorial. Okay, so once you've reached the right length of your earrings or bracelet or necklace, whatever it is that you decided to make today, you're going to want to create a loop closure. So you can see on this side I've already done it, and I've used a total of 5 size 15 seed beads in silver in order to finish off my piece. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side together. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're exiting the top bead here at the end of your oval shape, okay, the white one in the center. And you're going to pick up a total of 5 size 15 seed beads in silver. Okay, right there on my needle, and I'm going to go through the opposite side of the bead that I'm exiting. Okay, so right here. Pull on your thread. Okay, so that creates the loop, and then you can reinforce that loop by going through all of the beads that you just added on. There we go. So that just strengthens the circular shape there. And then you can carry on through, let's say, the first 2 beads, the white and the blue bead on the right hand side. And you can tie a knot right there on the inside of your shape. Okay, and if you like, you can go through some more beads and tie another knot. So I'll go through the 3 15s here, and I'll tie another knot here on the inside of my shape. Okay, so now I'm confident that the piece is secure, and I can go ahead and grab my scissors, cut off the excess thread here. Okay, put that aside. I'm going to grab my flat nose pliers. And you can see one of the jump rings is already open. So I'm going to insert that into the loop and close it up. Okay. I'm going to grab my other jump ring, open it up, and attach the lobster clasp. Okay, and I'm going to insert both of those into the other loop on the other side of my piece and close it up. Okay. So this is how you're going to attach one side of the necklace to the other, is by opening up the lobster and attaching the jump ring to it, just like that. Okay, so that's your final closure there for your piece. And of course, if you were doing earrings, you would attach the earring hook to the loop, and that would be it. Okay, so pretty simple. So anyways, that concludes our beading tutorial for today. And I hope that you really enjoyed making this oval shaped beaded necklace. And I just loved the tone of the light blue. It caught my eye as soon as I saw it, and I knew I had to create something with that bead. And it would also be really fun to have, different colors of size 8 beads going throughout the oval. You could also change up the 11s and 15s to do a multicolored piece. So anyways, I hope that you really enjoy wearing this, and I just wanted to say thank you for your ongoing support, And if you haven't already done so, please take a minute to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I have a number of videos posted, so you know, you can go through the older ones as well. And I just want to give a special shout out to a viewer in Italy who sent me a picture of one of her necklaces that she did based on my tutorial. So it was really interesting to see how she changed up the colors and how she did a slightly different variation of it. So yeah, that really made my day. So thank you to that viewer, and we'll see you in the next beading tutorial. Okay, take care. Bye for now.